So I remember when I first started learning about self-improvement or essentially self-help. And I remember imagining it like you're talking to like a psychologist or a therapist, almost on the inside of yourself. And this psychologist or therapist is telling you how to improve yourself and how to be in a better mental state. And I think the lessons I learned in my early days are quite useful. But I think as time has gone on, self-improvement has got to a point where the lessons are almost becoming a double-edged sword. Even some of the things I teach on my channel are a bit of a double-edged sword. What I mean by this is take the grind culture you have online, or simply this thing of wanting to stack up your accomplishments. Sure, it is important to improve yourself and be a hard-working person who's always striving to do better. That just makes sense. But if it gets to a toxic point where you're losing sleep over it or you're literally burning yourself out, we are actually losing sight of the end goal, or simply put, the reason why we got into this to begin with. Chances are you got into self-improvement because you are sad and depressed. So cool, you're sad and depressed and you said, okay, if I improve myself, I'll become happy. That is a very logical way to go about things and there's nothing wrong with that. But now, if you improve yourself to the point or working on yourself to the point where you become burnt out, where you become sad, there's almost like you went from point A to point B just to go to point A. There's no point in just, what was the point of that exercise? So this is where now we need to actually zoom out of our life a bit and consider the broader perspective. And why I'm making this video is quite frankly for myself. I don't know why, and as like an older brother to you, I shouldn't quite be telling this to you, but I guess it also helps you to realize that no one you watch online, myself, Hamza, Jack Piggott, whoever it is, ourselves, we are still learning. Everyone you meet, your parents, they are still learning. So why I'm making this video actually is, in my life for the past 2 or 3 months, I've been like almost on a seesaw with this very matter. I'm trying to figure out what the sweet spot is between working hard and trying to accomplish these like big, wonderful goals, but also keeping your happiness in check. Because you might have heard this phrase. There's a phrase called "don't kill the golden goose," and you are the golden goose. What that means, don't kill the thing that's going to actually get you the end goal. Don't kill the thing that's actually going to get all these accomplishments. Now, if you're in a state where you are unhappy, you're probably not going to get the accomplishments, but you might. Now, take the small scenario that you are going to like get all these accomplishments. You're not going to be in a position where you actually feel happy about it, or you just plain recognize the accomplishments you've achieved. So I want you to think about this. Imagine there's this millionaire who, for the past 5 years, has sacrificed everything. He sacrificed his relationship with his woman, he sacrificed his relationship with his friends, he sacrificed hours and hours of work, so much so that he's got to a point where he's like living on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. On the outside, people are looking like, wow, what a guy. I mean, he's so hardworking. He has all this money, he's probably like a multi-millionaire now, great. But think how screwed up his head is. He's in a point now where he's probably literally hallucinating about like ghosts and weird things like that. Or maybe I'm just weird, but I know that would happen to me. And in this scenario, you have to recognize that forget about going from A to B and back to A. Here you've gone from A to B to even worse than A. And that's now the double-edged sword that I'm talking about. You are finding these tools to get out of your state of unhappiness. But in finding these tools, you are too busy fixating on the tools that you lose sight of why you even picked up the tools to begin with. It's almost like you're building this nice fancy cupboard in your house. But then you're like finding all these fancy screwdrivers, finding which screwdriver is the coolest. And now you're in this weird zone where you are focusing on this 100 sets of screwdrivers to the point where you forgot to even build the cupboard. That's essentially what self-improvement has become for a lot of people, and I fell into this trap more times than I can count, quite frankly. And I think here, man, I really have moments in my videos where I have to think deeply on how to make this valuable to you. But I think the moral of the story really is that, on one hand, yes, you shouldn't be focusing on just the accomplishments and zoom out and focus on ultimately your mental health. But I think the other twist to this is, don't just listen to me, don't just listen to Hamza, don't just listen to Jack Pickett, don't just listen to anyone. Focus on what you think will actually help you out. Because here's the weird part, right? On a really deep level, your brain knows what's going to make you happy. Your brain knows what's actually lacking in your life. Oftentimes we either A, just don't hear it, or B, we are too lazy, we are too busy wallowing in pity to actually act on those steps. But if you just shut out all like the background noise of social media, YouTube, your teacher's voice, your parents' voice, and listen to your own voice for just a few minutes every day, you'll start to recognize what's actually lacking in your life. And this might be something as simple as you're not going into nature enough. You're not spending enough time to reflect on your day. Frankly, it might even be something as simple as you're not spending enough time eating good food. There's a lot of things that you could be lacking, but you wouldn't really hear that from someone on YouTube. You wouldn't really hear that from your parents. You can only hear it from yourself, because it's only you truly who knows what's lacking. So you need to go back within. Stop focusing on YouTube and listening to all these guys. I want you to continue watching my videos. Of course I do. It's going to grow. My YouTube channel, get me some money one day. But I do think every now and then, take a break from a channel. Take a break from all YouTube channels like mine. And just think about, hey, what is lacking in my life right now? I hope this helps you, bro. I do have a Discord server down below where hopefully I can help you through this. But again, I think a lot of the work, ultimately, after you get some guidance, of course, comes from within. With that said, bro, I'll see you in the next one to become a better man.